Tuesday evening, and we could hear a pin drop if anyone was around to drop a pin or hear it drop. Peace and quiet once reigned here, unchallenged, for the dominant mood at the 3-acre campus of Tinney Chapel United Methodist, the quintessential country church. But after all, it is Tuesday evening. What is there to do at church at such a time? When our pastor, Reverend Sue Gross, asked that question, God answered her, and eventually all of us, loud and clear.
Hi, my name is Sue Gross, and I'm the pastor at Tinney Chapel United Methodist Church. Funny thing happened on my way home from district meeting, and that was that as I was driving up the road, I saw a church marquee written in Spanish. And I felt a tugging from God to start a Protestant Hispanic worship service in Winsboro. So I started learning to speak Spanish and was on my way to doing that when a couple from Winsboro came to talk to me and told me that what they really needed was to learn to speak English. So from that was born the ESL classes at Tinney Chapel United Methodist Church.
Yeah. And even if you're Mexican or if you're Chinese or any, so we live on this country, and we have to learn the language from this country and have communicate, and we don't need interpreters because sometimes we have something personal that I want to talk to the teacher in me or the teacher in my family, and sometimes the people, they're embarrassed to when there's somebody else.
Like an interpreter?
Yes, and also for the doctor, when they give you a prescription, so you can confuse if you don't know how to read.
So, if I'm remembering right, when we first went to the training, and a lot of us don't know Spanish, but they told us an example of ONCE, the word ONCE, and in this country, that means one time. If you don't know English, what does ONCE mean?
If there's on Spanish, that means it's 11 times, so the people can to 11 pills they can be die. So that's why it's very important. Or when you buy in a car and you don't know how to read them all papers they give it to you, you think you stand by the car, but some dealers or some seller, they don't tell you exactly. They give you the papers and you have to read, and you think you buy it, but you're rented like a there's no for sale. That's for lease.
None of us spoke Spanish, and only a couple of us had ever been in front of a classroom, but that wasn't going to get us off of the hook. So to get started, we contacted the Literacy Council of Tyler, and they plugged us into a volunteer program that they sponsor here in East Texas. They recommended a curriculum, they provided volunteer training, and they still give us support as we need it. Students who come in are assessed to determine their ability to speak and to read English. Then they're placed in the appropriate class according to those abilities. As they master that level that they're in, they can then move up to the next level, and the pattern continues.
If your church is looking for an outreach program for your community, ESL is the perfect one, because there are opportunities for teaching, obviously, but also to minister to children, and also our program has a ministry of feeding our friends.
The first time I approached the ESL, I approached it with apprehension. But after the first time, I became committed, and I would not miss it for anything. I have found new friends in the Hispanic community, and I would recommend it highly to anyone as a worthwhile ministry in the church, which is so needed and appreciated by those that participate.
I think the greatest blessing that we've had since we started this ministry is that one of the members of our classes came to me one day after we'd been meeting for about a month and a half and told me about a teacher in our elementary school whose husband had serious illness, and she was wondering if we would help them with a car wash yard sale combination so that they could give the money to this family. She said, "You all have been so nice to us, and now we want to give back to the community."
A lot of people, we have the same wish, and there's I think I will be support my family or my kids. They will be a part of me because I'm learn English and I understand, and I can have my own job or my own business to keep my family.
What a difference an ESL class makes, especially when you have 8 members of your church volunteer to train for teaching English as a second language. 3 others volunteer for kitchen duty in our 8,000 square foot Family Life Center, the only building we have big enough to surround Pastor Sue's dream. Yet 3 more to volunteer for child supervision duty with the children of Hispanic adults motivated to learn English as a second language. Bottom line, all that earlier peace and quiet is a thing of the pre-ESL past. Walk across the campus of our church now on any given Tuesday evening, and the sound of kids at play overcomes the soft sound of songbirds in our hickory, oak, and holly trees. Now we have peace of an entirely different sort. The peace of the Lord, the kind of peace Jesus promised. What was missing before? Pastor Sue Gross has a phrase for it. The peace that passes all understanding. Your church can have it too. Just answer God's call to reach out and teach someone. Teach them something you already know very well. Your own language, English. One other thing we've learned, the truth of one of the great teachings that come from being teachers. No one learns or gains more than we do. Amen and adios.